Hello, I'm Cyril from RunsOn, and I will present you today this tool that will help you get faster and cheaper GitHub Action runners for all your workflows. So the premise of RunsOn is that you can easily host your own runners for GitHub Action in your AWS account without any third party, and this brings you a lot of benefits. The bigger one is obviously the much cheaper price compared to the official runners, as you can see on this screen here. You could also have a look at the calculator to see the whole pricing and a little widget to help you see the difference between GitHub and RunsOn. But right now I want to demo how easy it is to set up RunsOn in your own AWS account. And to do that, I will just go on the installation guide. RunsOn comes as a CloudFormation template that you will need to set up in your AWS account. And for this, you can choose between 4 regions currently. And for this demo, let's say we want to host it in US West 2. So I just click here and I will be redirected to my AWS account with the quick create stack wizard in AWS. And here I just need to fill in a few details. So the stack name is RunsOn. We will leave it like that. And then the most important is to specify the name of the GitHub organization that you want to use RunsOn on. In my case, I created a RunsOn demo GitHub organization. So I input this. The license key, you'll have to get one at runson.com/pricing. Let's say I input license key for now. I can change that later on. Email address would be, let's say, my email at RunsOn. So this email address will be used to send you cost reports and alerts whenever the amount of minutes consumed is higher than a specific alarm that you can set up in this template as well. So that was the 3 required inputs, and then you have optional stuff such as whether you want the RunsOn installation to be fully private, so to enable private subnets with NAT gateways for the runners. Here I will just keep it public. You can input a list of GitHub usernames that will have SSH access into the runners by default, otherwise it will only take the GitHub users that have admin permissions on the repository that is using the runners. Can restrict SSH access to a specific CIDR range, add custom EC2 instance policy, etc., etc., configure the alarm limits. But yeah, as I said, all optional. So let's go ahead, just check that box here and click on the create stack button. Okay, so I have already a stack name like that, obviously. So let's use RunsOn demo instead. So create stack. And then we just need to wait a bit for CloudFormation to do its thing. So it will create quite a bit of resources, such as SQSQ, the alarm, an app runner service, so that the RunsOn server can run. All those things, by default, if you choose the public runners, it will only cost you about $2 per month at most. If you have a really high number of jobs, such as more than 10 or 20,000 jobs per day, then you can it might cost a bit more, but it's really cheap. So yeah, I'll skip ahead once everything is complete. Okay, so the stack was created in about, I think, 3 minutes and a half. So everything is green, and now you can simply go into the Outputs tab here, where you can see some of the resources that RunsOn has created. But the most important one for now is the RunsOn entry point. So you can just click here, and you will be directed into the welcome page for RunsOn. So this lives in your infrastructure. This page is served by the RunsOn server that was just set up. And this will be used to register a GitHub app very easily because obviously RunsOn needs to listen for events from your GitHub repositories. And so it needs to register a GitHub app to be able to do that. So just click on the button and you will be directed to the GitHub UI where you can specify a GitHub app name. I recommend you leave it as default here. Click on create the GitHub app and then you will be directed to the screen so that you can select either to install the app for all repositories or just limited number of repositories. Let's say I want to install it just for the demo repository for now. You can review here the permissions that it will need. And note here that this app is private to your organization, so it's dedicated to your organization and will not be shared publicly with anyone else. Then you click install. And if you see this screen, it says that everything was fine and you can now just use RunsOn to start runners. So let's do that. If I go into my demo repository, I created a concurrency workflow, which if we have a look, is just going to create about 60 runners, just to test a bit the concurrency of RunsOn. I have a workflow dispatch event associated, so I can just click here to run the workflow. And then we just need to refresh the GitHub UI and wait a bit. The first runner should start in about 30 seconds. And then, we can also see that GitHub takes a bit of time to just create the 60 jobs, as we can see here. So 60 jobs have been created, and we should see the first one being launched quite soon. Just now it started. So let's see. Okay, so it has already started about 10 jobs. And if we have a look at one of them, which is already complete, RunsOn has a really nice feature that just displays metadata information about your runner instance. So here, so you can see the SSH connection details if you wanted to, the admins that it automatically fetched from the list of admins on the repository. So those admins can very easily SSH right into the repository, have sudo access, and very useful if you need to debug stuff or just see the CPU or memory usage while a job is running. Have various other details, whether like the number of memory, the cores, whether this instance was able to be launched as a spot or an on-demand, the IMI that was used, etc., etc. And another one interesting is the timings table, where you can see how long it took from the time the workflow job was created until basically the agent started booting. And here we can see that in about 20 seconds, that job was fully launched and ready to process the job. So I think GitHub does not refresh properly. So all the jobs have now been completed in 1 minute 14 seconds, which is, very good. So I only put 60 jobs here for the demo, but RunsOn can handle a lot of concurrent jobs, like hundreds at once, no problem at all. The main issue will probably be with your AWS quota. If you use a new account, you will probably have to bump that on EC2 side, so ask for more spot instance or more on-demand instance. But other than that, even with a default account, you can still run a lot of concurrent jobs. So all in all, in about 10 minutes, you went from going onto the install guide of RunsOn up to a fully working workflow with 60 jobs. So I hope you find that really useful, and I encourage you to try it out.